All right there, guys. I'm here with Matt and John, and we're going to be talking about mini mysteries. Ooh. Who wants to dive in and tell us a little bit about this then? Go for it.
So, Mini Mysteries, am I looking at this or this?
Chat to me.
All right, Mini Mysteries is an escape room game for families. It comes in the post. You're working for the mysterious Ministry of Time, and each game is set in a different time zone. So this is from our medieval game, so you can see it's beautiful medieval map, all designed by the beautiful Matt, who does puzzle design but also is incredibly good at the visuals. I'm not a visual person, so I've not done any of that. So this is our medieval game set in medieval England, and you're solving lots of puzzles that you then, the puzzles are on the paper, but you're inputting your answers via the app, which hopefully is screening at some point on the iPad there. It's a whole cast of characters that you can talk to by clicking on them. They're all fully voice acted by comedian friends of ours. So they give you the puzzles, and then you solve those in order to move the story forward. So that's the medieval game. And we also have an Egypt game, which is different and is a timed escape room adventure, whereas this is more of an open world point and click adventure kind of game.
Very awesome.
I've gone very deep there. You asked me what it was. It's an escape room game that comes in the post for families.
Do you have any particular favourite ones of the mysteries that you've done? Not to pick a favourite of your darlings, of course, but...
It's a difficult one to say. I would say my favourite is always the most recent, so in this case it would be Medieval. I think we really fleshed out and expanded the world with Medieval. There's this whole sort of thing of this secret agency, the Ministry of Time. No one really knows what they're about. Their motives are a little shady and suspicious, and you're always trying to... Medieval is a much larger exploration of that world, as well as being a kind of historical exploration of that time period. But that said, we are working right now on our next game, which is called The Roman Rivalry. So that one's set in ancient Rome.
So excited about it. It's going to be so good.
That one's set at the time of Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great and the Roman Civil War. And that one I'm really excited about this one because it's much larger in scale, it's much more ambitious. I'm really excited about all the visuals that we're working on. So
we've got stickers.
There's a lot
Very
of stickers.
excited about the stickers.
I love a good sticker.
Stickers, playing cards. And this one, I mean, Egypt is a little bit more of an escape room kind of timed puzzle game. Medieval is a little bit more of a whodunit kind of exploratory adventure, whereas Rome is essentially a strategy game. It's more of a strategically themed puzzle game. So we're bringing in a lot of different themes and styles for each of the games. So yeah, we're trying to do something different with each one, and each one is our favourite as it comes out.
Yeah. I think the cool thing is that because each game is a different time zone, it allows for not only amazing visual differences. So for the Egypt game, you can see we've got kind of hieroglyphics and papyrus and that kind of vibe, whereas Medieval is much more inspired by stained glass and manuscripts and that kind of thing. And then Rome again, more mosaic and that kind of thing, and maps. So not only that, but from a puzzle point of view, you get so many ideas from which era the game is set in. So Matt designed this amazing, I always forget the bloody word, the device that you rotate around.
The astrolabe.
Yeah. Which is
what a word and what a thing. Oh.
So Matt created this fully operational astrolabe, which is the device used to tell the tides, it's to do with the time of the stars in the sky and where the tides are going to be in the moon. And so that wouldn't have come out of nothing, but because we were operating in this time zone, Matt then had this idea and was able to make it visually.
So we were researching into intriguing mysteries and strange devices from that period of time, and the astrolabe was something, it was like an amazing piece of machinery. I mean, it's actually ancient, but it was used a lot in medieval times, and it can tell all kinds of pieces of information and data just from the position of the stars. It's an incredible piece of kit, and I really wanted to try and there's a sort of not educational but kind of informative element to all of this, so I kind of wanted to put across feeling of using one of these amazing devices at the time in a puzzle. So essentially take something complicated like that and turn it into a puzzle. And it was a real joy to design.
It has people going down the rabbit hole of discovery, doesn't it, to try and find out more about these things.
It's kind of stealth education, I think, because by the time you've played it a bunch, you're like, oh wow, this is a device called, even though I forgot the name, I'm sure our clever players will not forget the name. But for example, so Egypt is very much a linear thing, and it's kind of adrenaline fueled and it's very exciting, but it's done ideally quite quickly because you're against the clock, whereas this one we wanted to spend much more time exploring. And the puzzles always come back to this map, which is what's so cool. So you'll solve a puzzle that seems to be in isolation. For example, one of the astrolabe puzzles involves figuring out where someone ended up at a particular time. But when you look at the astrolabe, you realise that the tide has to be either, I won't spoil it, either high or low, which means there's a particular area that's only accessible when the tide is low. So it's not like beep boop, insert answer to get puzzle. It's like you're using it to then explore the world and hopefully feel a real connection using just paper and technology to hopefully bring people into the world. So it's not quote unquote just pen and paper, even though that's great. It's kind of trying to find as many ways as possible for people to feel they're in the space using puzzles.
Would you say that the Egyptian ones are like a good entry point for people to have a look at the games and stuff that you do,
Yeah, I would say start out with Egypt. They don't have to be played in any particular order, but I would say Egypt is perhaps the more accessible one. Medieval goes a bit longer, it's a bit more involved. We've even had people play it over a couple of nights, which is also perfectly viable. So yeah, I mean, it kind of depends what level of challenge you're looking for. Egypt is just a little bit more accessible, I think, and they're designed to be played as a group. So you can have multiple people playing, younger people, older people, and there's different kinds of puzzle solving as well. So there's visual puzzles, there's logic puzzles, word puzzles, number puzzles. So you kind of have if you have a lot of different skill sets, it's designed so that everybody can contribute all at once.
Sounds very awesome, yeah. Where can people come to sort of learn a little bit more about the game here at the show and everything like that? Have you got a stand here?
We're in Hall 2. We are 582, I think. Hey, Viv. Viv. Could you remember what our stand number is? Is it 582? Yes, we're in Hall 2, 582.
Boom.
That number again, 582. It's over near the kids zone in Hall 2.
There we go, guys. Make sure to go and check this out. This sounds amazing. It's right up my street. I love these kind of like mystery puzzle solving games and things like that. We're going to move on and dive into another video soon. Bye for now.